What's up everybody, welcome back to my channel and to episode 4 of my Let's Play Open RuneScape Classic series. In today's episode we're going to continue our journey towards raising all skills to level 10 or higher, and we are going to get started with the ranging skill. It is about time that we expand our combat prowess to a second corner of the beloved combat triangle of RuneScape, and I can think of no better place to continue than the ranging skill, as we have a stack of 1200 bronze arrows sitting in the bank and ready for us to use at will. The fabled cow pens of Lumbridge will be the perfect place to begin our ranged training, as these cows will drop their hides that we can use both to level our crafting skill and to create our first set of ranged armor. However, before we can get started, we are going to need a ranged weapon. My fletching level is currently at 17, which means that I can craft a longbow for my character to use as his first ranged weapon, which is great. However, crafting a longbow requires two materials, the first being the unstrung longbow itself, fletched from a set of logs that I can collect from any old tree in this area. However, the other material is a bowstring. To create a bowstring, I'm going to need to spin flax, and flax is a resource that, to gather, we are going to need to head further west than our character has ever gone before. This westward travel, however, is further complicated by a well-known obstacle, White Wolf Mountain, where the wolves would likely devour us pretty quickly. And so, in lieu of the impending danger of White Wolf Mountain and the White Wolves themselves, instead of crafting a longbow myself with the fletching skill, I'm going to take a very convenient plan B by heading a little to the east of the Varrock Fountain, over to Lowe's Archery Store, where if we head inside and talk to Lowe himself, we can purchase a series of ranged weapons. Let's take a look at his inventory. It looks like Lowe is selling bronze arrows we can buy for 2 gold each. He's selling crossbow bolts, he's selling a short bow for 50 gold, he's selling a longbow for 80 gold, and a crossbow at 70 gold. We're going to go ahead and buy one longbow. It looks like the price for a longbow is 80 gold, and we have 100 in our inventory. So I'm going to go ahead and make this purchase and equip it. And we now have a longbow that we can use for ranged training. I'm going to head over to the east bank of Varrock and take out our arrows. I also made sure to bring a few pieces of cooked meat in case we need to heal while training. I'm not exactly sure what the damage output of the cows is going to look like, and if we're going to need to heal at all, but in case we do, we'll have a few pieces of cooked meat, just enough to be helpful, but not too much to waste too much inventory space that could be used for collecting hides. So I've made it back to the Lumbridge cow pen with a longbow equipped and 1200 bronze arrows, so I'm ready to begin training my ranged skill from 1 to 10, and I'm going to get started by attacking a cow near to the fence. It looks like there's one down here, so I'm going to go ahead and attack. And the animation for ranged in this game is hilarious. Like, that is supposed to be an arrow being shot from my character at the cow, and I cannot for the life of me hit this cow even one time with the range skills. So I'm actually going to head over to the chicken coop and practice on some chickens for a little bit, and see if I can't hit maybe level 3 or 4 ranged and then deal some damage to a cow. We'll see how this goes. I finally did my first hit point of damage with the range skill against this level 3 chicken. This chicken just healed back to full health before I was able to deal a second hit point of damage. I literally cannot believe this right now. This is insane. Okay, so I finally killed my first creature with the range skill. I killed a chicken, and to do so I had to hit the chicken twice with melee to get it down to 1 HP, and then kill it with the range skill, which is ridiculous. I now have, let's see, 17 XP in range for my 1 chicken kill, so yeah, I guess what I'll be doing is using melee to, get these guys down to 1 HP, and then trying to finish them off with ranged until I am a high enough range level to, start actually dealing damage to these chickens. This is just hilarious. We're really starting from the bottom here, guys. After dancing around with these chickens for quite a while, I've finally gained some range levels. I am currently at range level 6, and I am starting to deal some somewhat more consistent damage to these chickens. At any rate, I'm at least able to eventually kill the chicken with my range skill alone, rather than having to do the melee trick. So another player actually just walked up to the chicken coop where I'm at. Shout out to Carva here, hanging out here. He's collecting feathers to train his fletching skill, which is pretty cool. He's got some bronze armor on with a helmet. I can't tell if it's iron or steel or what, but some kind of improved helmet. And then I was asking him about his amulet. This is an amulet of accuracy that he's wearing that helps him in combat. Alright, so I just hit level 8 ranged, and so I'm going to attempt to fight cows again. And we will just see how that goes. So I'm actually dealing some damage to the cow, which is incredible because earlier I could not even hit it for 1. So that is already a huge improvement. I just hit a 2 on a cow. Okay, so we're doing good. I will eventually kill this cow, and I'll be able to start collecting hides so that we can train the crafting skill, and we'll improve our ranged in the process. And just like that, I've killed my first cow with the range skill, which is awesome. Now I know that I can hang out here at the cow pen like I had originally intended. Oh my gosh, I just found another player playing the game. Shout out to Artie. Let's see what he's up to. Artie is level 15, and it doesn't look like he has anything equipped at the moment. But it is always cool to see more players playing the game. It looks like we have quite a few newer, low-leveled players. Oh my gosh, there's another player. Look, there are 3 players at once at the same time. Yeah, this is just great. We're running into all kinds of people today. Orbrun doesn't look like she has anything on her, but she's level 82. Well, that whole encounter was pretty cool. It's starting to look like Open RuneScape Classic is getting a little more crowded day by day, and I'm very happy to see that. Alright, so I just hit level 10 ranged, which is awesome. That makes 12 skills that we now have at level 10 or higher, with 6 to go before all skills are at 10. And something else that I didn't notice earlier is that we actually recently passed the 200 skill total milestone. Our skill total is currently at 209, which is also pretty cool. As I've been hanging out in the cow pen, I've not only been training the ranged skill, I've been collecting cow hides that we can use for crafting, I've been burying their bones, I've been cooking the raw beef that they drop, and I've banked some of it, but I've also sold some of it to the nearby general store for some money. And I think that a good next step for us is going to be the crafting skill. Seeing as we're already here at the cows, I've been collecting some cow hides that we can use to get started with crafting. I think I'm going to hang out here for a little longer and keep banking hides. I'll work on ranged some more, see if we can't push it on towards 20, and maybe work on attack and defense towards 20 as well. But my next steps will be to continue grinding the cows at the Lumbridge cow pen and to collect as many hides as possible to begin training the crafting skill. Okay, check out this ranged power move that I figured out while fighting cows. So if you attack a creature with ranged, there's like a default auto attack speed at which your character will shoot arrows at the creature that you're fighting. However, if you're willing to be a little more click intensive with your combat, then you can actually activate like a kind of a rapid fire mode, which is pretty cool. So what you have to do is you need to right click your opponent and attack over and over again at the halfway point where the projectile is halfway to your enemy. So I'll just demonstrate and show you what this looks like. And this actually, it pretty significantly increases the speed at which you're able to get off shots if you can do it right. And yeah, I think this is going to be super useful in things like PvP or maybe even boss fighting. Alright, so I now have an inventory full of cow hides, and I actually recently banked even more in Varrock. But since I have a little gold in my inventory, I think that instead of stockpiling cowhide all at once and then crafting it all at once, I think to kind of mix up my gameplay a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and stop in Al-Kharid in between inventories and go ahead and craft each load as I collect them. Let's go ahead and talk to the border guard so that we can make our way through to Al-Kharid. The gate swings open. Perfect. So the first thing I want to do in Al-Kharid is head to the bank and take out some more gold, and then head over to the eastern side of the city and check out the crafting shop. So I'm heading east through the city, past the palace with its level 18 warriors, and it looks like there's a shop here. This is a general store. This actually might be the crafting store right next to it. Let's see if there's a shopkeeper inside. Louis Legs. I actually think he sells plate legs. So that's probably not the shop we're looking for. There's another building over here to the northeast of Louis Legs in the general store. Let's check this building out and see if there's a crafting shop in here. Dominic. Let's talk to Dominic and see what he says. Would you like to buy some crafting equipment? Perfect. Let's see what you've got then. Awesome. Let's take a look. So it looks like he has a chisel. He has some molds, a ring mold, a necklace mold, and amulet mold. That will come in handy later on. And he has exactly what we need. He has a needle, and he has thread for only 1 gold per thread. That is actually pretty cool. Okay, so we're going to need a needle for crafting leather items, and then we're definitely going to need thread. I think I'm going to start by buying 10 and just see how far that gets me. Perfect, so I now have 1 needle and 10 thread. That is just great. Now I'm going to head back to the western side of town to the tanner. Pay no mind to the bones on the ground near me, but I now have an inventory full of cowhide, I have a needle and some thread, and I have some money, which are all the things that I'm going to need to begin crafting here in Alcarid. So in a prior episode, you saw me hang out here at the furnace, taking trips back and forth between the bank and the furnace for some smelting. To the south, we have the kebab cellar of the furnace room, but to the north, we have the tanner, which is where we will be training the crafting skill. So if I head into this room and I speak with the tanner, let's go ahead and walk in here. We'll talk to the tanner. Greetings, friend. I'm a manufacturer of leather. Can I buy some? Oh, here's some cowhides. Can I buy some leather now? Okay. You swap a cowhide for a piece of leather, and each cowhide that we change into leather is going to cost 1 coin, so that's not too bad. I don't have any cowhides left now. Alright, that is the end of the transaction. So the next step is going to be to use our needle on the leather, and then we'll get this interface similar to other skills where we can choose what kind of leather item that we want to craft. And I believe that when we first get started at level 1, I think that gloves are all that we can make. You make some leather gloves. Perfect. So I'm going to sit here and craft some leather gloves and see what crafting level we can get to with 1 inventory of leather. Alright, with 1 inventory of leather in the books, I now have an inventory full of leather gloves that we can sell, and my crafting has risen to level 3, which is great. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to head back to the bank. I'm going to go ahead and craft all of the cowhides that I have left in the bank, and then I'm going to start going back and forth between the cow pen in Lumbridge and Alcarid and work on my crafting. Something I find very funny is that if I attempt to equip one of my sets of leather gloves, it'll replace my entire plate mail body, which is insane, ridiculous. So I can either wear a pair of gloves or a chest plate, but I can't wear both. What's really awesome though is that at the general store I can sell my leather gloves for 2 gold each, which is great because it helps to offset the cost of tanning cowhides into leather, and then it also helps to offset the cost of paying the Alcarid guards to pass through the gate between Alcarid and Lumbridge. It's really so crazy how different Alcarid looks in RuneScape Classic from even RuneScape 2, but especially when you compare RuneScape 3 with the whole graphical rework of Alcarid that came several years ago. Compare that to this. I mean, it's a night and day difference, but I really love the look and feel of Alcarid in Classic. I think it just has a nice little charm, you know? I think that their design goal was to build a desert city, and I think that the little details like the palm trees and the camel and the shift in shade of the ground to yellow, I think it conveys that message fairly well. I recently hit level 7 crafting, and I can now craft leather gloves and leather boots. What's really crazy and just kind of interesting to me is that these cows and this cow pen have been in the game since the original release of RuneScape in January of 2001. which was a very long time ago, and so it's just kind of staggering to think about how many players have spent countless hours here training their skills. Oh my gosh, I found another player, and this guy has a party hat. Well, this guy just, he just cursed at the border guard for making him pay, and looks like he teleported past the guards. Let's see if he teleported into Alcarid. And there he is. Oh my gosh, that's just... Okay, so this guy just used Christmas crackers on me, which I guess when the server first opened, the first Christmas, they dropped Christmas crackers and party hats, and he just used some Christmas crackers on me. And I now have a party hat, which is insane. I'm just like... I know it's not the same as getting one in RuneScape 3 or old school RuneScape, but I am still just ecstatic. I'm going to put it on for the first time right now for you all, and oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, are you seeing this? Okay, so... okay, my plan for this account is to be as self-sufficient as possible, but when it comes to these rares, I can't really collect them myself. You know, there's kind of a finite amount of them in the game. So I'm going to make an exception for that. He also gave me a holy symbol, which I think I can gather on my own. So I'll just drop this. Oh my gosh, he's now trading me a Disc of Returning, a pumpkin, and an Easter egg. I now have like all the rares in the game. Look at this backpack. Look at this inventory. Look at my inventory right now. What in the world? I've got bronze armor. I can't even, you know, I don't even have iron armor yet, and I've got all of these rares. This is just... I don't even know what to say. So it looks like I now have all of the rares, except for the untradeable bunny ears that this guy's shown me that he has. And apparently the scythe will be dropping this October. So yeah, if you haven't already made an Open RuneScape Classic account, now is the perfect time if you want to get in on this rare action. Apparently if you make friends, some people with extras will share with you, and the scythe will be dropping this October, and that will be the last limited rare drop on the server ever. Alright, so I've deposited all of my rares, and I'm getting back to crafting training, but I just wanted to show you kind of away from him so we didn't think it was rude. He actually gave me a holy symbol of Saradomin, which I know that we can make ourselves in the game. So I'm just going to walk over here into a corner and drop that. Yeah, I'm going to drop the holy symbol. Yeah, so my goal for this account is to be as self-sufficient as possible. I don't really want to take gifts or things from other players. However, a limited rare that I cannot obtain in any other way, I'm definitely going to make an exception for all of those, and I'm so stoked that we now have the Santa hat, we have the Halloween masks, we have a party hat, the half jug of wine, which I didn't realize was a rare item. Yeah, we're just, as far as rares go, we're set. So it looks like the leather boots that I've been crafting are selling for 2 gold each at the general store, which is identical to what the leather gloves were selling for. But the boots are actually a little better in that they give a little more crafting XP per item than the gloves. Sweet. So I just hit level 10 crafting, which puts us at 13 different skills at level 10 or higher out of 18. We're making some progress. I'm also at the skill total level of 233 now. I'm actually pretty happy with this little account, guys. I think it's doing fairly well for being such a young account. And I guess the next question that I need to ask myself is, what skill am I going to train next? And I'm thinking about doing something simple, like maybe fishing, which is a pretty chill gathering skill. It'd be nice to start collecting, stockpiling food for our character. But I'm also thinking about maybe training thieving so that we can start building up our bank account a little bit. The skills that I think I'm going to save for last are the Herblaw skill and the magic skill, which both will take just a little bit of grinding to collect the resources that we need to actually train them. But at any rate, guys, that is going to be it for today's episode. Thank you again so much for watching. In today's episode, I was able to raise my ranged skill from 1 to 10 and my crafting skill from 1 to 10, putting us at 13 out of 18 skills at level 10 or higher. And in the next episode, we will continue the journey towards level 10 in all skills, most likely with the thieving skills or the fishing skills, and I'll probably get back to questing as well. I'll see you guys in the next episode.